Hey everybody, today I want to talk to you about 1985 Demons. Here I've got a poster, a vintage poster. Beside is The Lost Boys. This poster is the original one that came out in Belgian theaters in 1985. So this is a vintage poster, and in front of this demon here is my favorite character in the movie, called Tony the Pimp. You heard me, Tony the Pimp. Now, brief synopsis about the movie. It's basically people are getting invited by this weird looking dude with a metal plate on his face to go and watch this premiere of this horror movie in a theater, movie theater, and things start to happen. Somebody gets scratched by an artifact that is in the lobby, a mask, and she is basically infected and becomes a demon. Then of course they can't get out of the theater. The theater on itself is also, I think, demonized, because the walls are, when the people want to run out, the walls are just barricaded with concrete stones. There's no exit anymore. So it looked like the theater is alive at some, in a way. This also happens later on in the story that I'm going to tell you. But this has a real this movie, in my opinion, has they have Sam Raimi's Evil Dead has an influence on these demons. They look like the demons of Evil Dead, in my opinion. There's this one demon transformation that's really cool for a low, I'm not sure what the budget was, but I'm not thinking it's a high budget. And you can see the claws coming out of the fingers. The teeth are being pushed out by, like spiky teeth. The entire transformation is filmed from close up, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool special effects. Also, this movie is known for its gore. Really cool gore. You've got throats being ripped out. You've got eyes being gouged out. You've got people being scalloped. I mean, you name it. Okay. Now, the characters are really, really fun. You've got when shit hits the fan, you've got one guy who's there with his girlfriend Hannah, and he loses her. She goes left, she goes left and he goes right, and she loses her, and he's running through the halls and yelling, "Hannah, where are you?" And he's taking people by the arms. "Where is Hannah? Where is Hannah?" I mean, if somebody would do that with me, I would be like, "What the fuck? I don't know who the fuck, what is the fuck is Hannah?" Okay, I don't know where fucking Hannah is. I mean, and you've got Tony the Pimp. He's basically my favorite character. Now, this guy, he's there with two prostitutes. Now, these two hookers basically are the starting demons, because the first one, like I said, there's an artifact and a mask, and she puts it on for shits and giggles, and she scratches herself. And while the movie is playing, in the movie, there's also a guy who takes the same mask, puts it on for shits and giggles, and scratches himself too. When he gets, in the movie, demonized, she starts bleeding, goes to the bathroom, and of course what we get is a full-on demon. Who's the one who's looking for her? It's the second prostitute. So Tony the Pimp's prostitutes are just falling left and right. But this guy, I mean, he's a gangster, but he takes charge by the minute. He's not thinking about himself. He's like, let's barricade those doors. Let's take on these demons together. Stay together when we're strong. You take this switchblade and cut this rope. Yeah, it's like, yeah. His name is Barry Rhodes, and it's a shame because you would think he's the main character and focus in this movie, the main protagonist. But you've got a group of younger people: George, Ken, Cheryl, and Hannah. These guys come in and try to flirt with Cheryl and Hannah. And basically, one of these four people are the lone survivors at the end of the movie. And George is somewhat the guy that later on becomes the hero, the guy to look up to. But Tony gets nabbed by one of the demons and sadly becomes one of the demons. He becomes, like I said, if you see the poster here, the big demon that's in front of that cool shot with the lights and the demons coming up the stairs, that's Tony the Pimp. The demon, Tony the Pimp. Now, like I said, there are fun scenes. There is a scene where a blind guy is at the movie with his nurse, Liz, and it's weird to go to a movie theater with a blind guy because the guy doesn't see, so she has to tell everything what's happening. But she wanders off and makes out with a random dude, and he's sitting there, Liz, and eventually they are one of the first victims to die by a demon. He gets one of not gnarly death, but he's the one who's gonna be do something that will create something else. So he gets his eyes gouged out. He's already blind, but now he has no eyes. He lives, but there's a back door. At a certain point, you have a few punks that are outside of it's like a subplot where a few guys that are snorting coke with a straw out of a coke can. How cool is that? And they get car troubles. The police sees them. They run out of the car. They run in an alley of the theater, and one of the door opens magically, and they get in, and that's how the blind guy gets out. Now, the blind guy at that moment is a demon. Police comes in the alleyway, sees the blind guy. One gets scratched, and the other starts shooting. So, what I mean by that he's an important demon is that while the people in the theater now are having problems outside the theater is an apocalyptic shit happening, like Dawn of the Dead or something, but with demons. An outbreak, basically. In a very short time outbreak. Because at some point, a helicopter flies through the roof of the theater, and that's their means of escape. Now, before that happens, George, who grows a pair of balls at some point, he takes the artifact. The artifact had a bike and a samurai sitting on it for some reason, and a samurai blade for some reason. What has nothing to do with the movie. The mask, yeah, but the mask is hanging on the samurai blade. So he throws the mask away, goes on the bike that has fuel in it, and just he goes through the theater. He's riding over the seats. Demons are jumping over him. He's slashing heads off left and right, and he says to Cheryl, "Come on my bike." His buttons are open. She puts a button up. She just like immediately flushed by his like he has his torn shirt, you know, and he's like, I'm taking command. He's like a Rambo kind of figure. And then, of course, the like I said, the helicopter drops down the roof, and they use a sort of grappling hook to get towards the hole and escape. But of course, they see that everything is in chaos, and they escape. Spoiling a little bit here, I know, but I'm not gonna spoil everything. They escape. They meet with people with guns, a car, and they go to a safe. They try to find a safe haven. That's not the end. Now, fun fact is that this was shot in Berlin. Okay, lots of these Italian movies are shot over the entire world. They shoot in America, they shoot in England, they shoot in Italy, in Germany. This was Berlin. And this theater really existed, and it's now a dancing called the Gallo. And the thing is that this movie was really well received at the box office, that they after a year made a sequel to this in High Rise Building. And I'm thinking High Rise Building, I'm looking at Evil Dead Rise. And Tony the Pimp, Bobby Rhodes, is hired again in that movie, not as a pimp, but as a personal trainer, a bodybuilding trainer. And he has more to do in that movie, and he's even more of a badass. He takes a double barrel shotgun, he gets his tank top bodybuilders and fight the demons. It's just crazy. But that's if you want to see the sequel. Sequel doesn't have a lot of gore, because I think they wanted to have a broader audience to bring it down to PG-13, and that's something that for me sucked. I liked the gore, the demons and the gore. Now this movie is a must-see. It's a fun time, fun characters. You can't go wrong with this one. I have nothing to say that is bad about this one. It's just a great time, bloody, gory, demonic time. So see you next time. Bye.